Pixel Sharks. What did you just do? Well, I'm very grateful for that glitch in the hotkeys. So I was going to switch to that one anyway. Let me test something. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but for some reason it decided it wanted to switch to this scene when I pressed the talk button on my stream puppy. Oh well, I'm here. Pixel Sharks, thank you very much for your continued support. It is much appreciated. Sorry, something fell on my desk. How's everybody doing today? So, today I'm going to talk about something that I encountered yesterday when I was attending services. Something it's definitely been important and mattered to me, but I know that it doesn't always work that way for everybody else. So I'm going to talk about my side of it, and then I'm going to try to translate it to people who don't hold the same beliefs as me, because there are a lot. And one of the things I like about this world is that we can all have our own beliefs, and frankly it doesn't really matter to me what you believe, because you're allowed to have your belief. And while I like it when our beliefs cross, there's commonality, not everyone is going to believe exactly the way I believe. So, but I'm not going to talk a lot about that side of it. I'm just going to share what was given to me and then talk about how it connects to PTSD and recovery. And that is in the title, Finding Meaning in Trauma. It's understanding that even though something bad has happened to you, that you can find meaning in it. It doesn't mean that it was necessarily intended to happen to you so that because it was going to be meaningful. This happened to you because it's going to be important later. No, it's choosing to take what happened to you and finding meaning in it. Now, this is those of you who are from a religious background, you'll recognize some of that concept and the idea that what you intended for evil, the Creator intended for good. That's one way to put it. I know that other religious faiths have a different way of putting it, but the idea that even though something bad happened to you, that there is a way to take it and make something good from it. I mean, we're all very familiar with the phrase, making life gives you lemons, make lemonade, which is just one of those things people say to people going through trauma, because frankly I don't think they understand what they They just don't, I don't think they know what to say. Twitch is broken. I try to have a view of the stream up on a different device so that I can monitor it, and it just keeps refusing to load the stream. And I know I'm seeing it because I can see it on that other computer over there, so... Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Yeah, we've discussed this before, Charles, Mike, and I have the whole... people not knowing what to say, so they just say something that honestly is more beneficial to them. Hi, Zoe. It's more beneficial to them to say it than it is for you to hear it. It's a way for them to feel better going home. Yep, it is. Everybody behave. My progeny's present. And clearly Pixel Sharks is also, so thank you for that. And while I have this discussion today, I am going to be playing a game. And I was trying to find something that I could play that I'm at least a little bit familiar with, so that I could have something going while I talk. And I discovered this game long after it was released. I was playing it, I started playing it last year. So I'm going to play some Anti-Hero. And I think I'm going to start at the beginning, so you can see what it's like from the beginning. So basically, you're a thief working into a thieves guild. So we have to... this guy's moving in on our territory, and he's establishing... we need to establish our guild. So let's replay the cinematic for you, for your benefit.
Lightfinger, the master thief, ran his guild in a small corner of a city ruled by violence, corruption, and greed. We won't claim he made an honest living, but he got by. And what other choice did he have? The elites, who ruled the city, lived like kings while the masses starved. Whether above the law or below it, everyone was a scoundrel of some sort.
Everyone's a scoundrel of some sort. Always good. Always good. So, the game board, because it does feel like a game board. It's our turn first. You have a couple things that you can do, and the game will show it as we go along. So we have to run the guild, scout the city, and steal things, and bribe and blackmail, or assassinate to win. So as we go, you'll see some of this up here. A scout. The master thief is your main character. He scouts fogged areas and burgles houses. You have other characters in there that you can play also to accomplish other things. So let's go here. Burgle this house. Got some coins. There's more to be stolen. Let's burgle it again. Okay. So let's... Wagging Tongue scouted, and we burgled it. So this building with the banner over it is a business. We can send in street urchins. Think Oliver Twist. Although for some of you, you may not be familiar with that movie. Oliver Twist. And they go in and infiltrate it, and they increase the amount of resources that you can get along with upgrades. So let's upgrade the building. Each turn you can buy upgrades for your guilds. Upgrades cost lanterns, which we have one right now. Or we're going to get one. Yeah, we have one. So we do cooking, so we get the... We get a street urchin, so we've accomplished that. So now this guy is going to go in here. He's going to infiltrate it. And so now we have one in there. Once we get 3 in there, we get a lot of production from it. And up top here, you can see we have the gold and the lanterns. The number on the left is the amount that you have. The number on the right is what you're gaining. Green dots above the Master Thief are action points. They refill each turn. So they're giving you extra on this one.
On my way.
The interface is a little wonky because of the whole... I'm not sure what it's... Yes, there we go. So we scouted. And we're not the only thief in town because Lygrave is here. We saw that already. And we need to stay one step ahead of him. But once you've done, you click check and you go on. And the other person will take their turn. Yes, and your Master Thief goes back. So, he's infiltrated the bank, and this is a thug that we have to take out in order to move past that point. They block your path, we'll need to deal with them. Buy a dagger, which basically gives the hero the ability to take him on. He's only got one heart, so easy peasy, and that used our action points, and now we'll go here.
Is that all?
Red footprints show where they've scouted, and you can move freely on those tiles, so you can see they've scouted this far. So that's the end of that turn. So while I play this, I'll continue the discussion, because that's kind of the way we do this here. We do something slightly distracting and talk about serious things. That's what Monday is. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out also that you look up top there, you can see we are at 88% of the goal towards extra life. So if you are interested in finding out more about that, you can go to that link right there. And that's some information from last year. I'm actually in contact with the hospital. They're going to share some information with me so that I can share it with you guys, specifics. Like the story of Mariah, story I actually already know. Small world, she and my niece, who was also Providence, helped. I've mentioned her story a lot. They were friends and played together before Mariah had to go get help. So we need lots of gold in order to do this stuff. So let's burgle. Okay, so Solemn Utter, a church. That's a great name for a church. Stark Decision. Someone's got a sense of humor. Infiltrate with 3 urchins for a blackmail victory point. So you want to get 3 urchins in there. Let's buy an urchin and have him go there.
I'm on it.
I pretty much just follow what the game tells me to do during this one so that you can kind of get a feel for it. With 1 urchin, a church earns you 1 gold. 2 urchins gives you, or 2, whatever those things are, I guess they'll explain them later. So we're going to upgrade. If you can't afford an upgrade, you can always take charity. That grants a small amount of lanterns of gold. There's no downside. So I'm going to take the lanterns this turn. And I will take it. Sorry, message from my dog trainer. Well, I've already done that. Okay. So, let's get back on the title. Finding Meaning in Drama. I recently listened to a book called Man's Search for Meaning, which was written by a Holocaust survivor. And he wanted to talk about the smaller stories, the people whose stories you haven't already heard. So, infiltrated business can be upgraded, send 2 more urchins, upgrade the church for a blackmail victory point. So, but in order to get to this one,
Hello.
I have to take him out. And now I'll send him there.
All right then.
With his last action point, I will burgle. And one of the things he was talking about in the book was... Well, I can get another one.
What? I'm here. Right away.
So, there we go. That's a victory point. I don't remember how many you need to win this first one. Oh, that was it. Very easy. Win. Oh, sorry. I think I have one. Nope, I don't. Just this.
Oh, Yeah.
There we go. So now we'll go on to the next one. So in the book, one of the things he talked about that stood out to me was the idea that the one thing that they couldn't take away from them was their choice of how they were going to face what they had to face. And those that managed to hold on to that meaning, that intrinsic value that they had, that they could still choose how they were going to face what they were facing, even if it meant death. Even if they knew they were going to die, if they still chose how they were going to face it, that those people were more likely to survive, and that finding meaning was key in their survival. As much as they had a role in it. So while some eventually just gave up and they wasted away and were either executed or just died, those that didn't give up, that kept clinging to that one simple value that they had, were able to hold on when they obviously weren't put in the position where they didn't know, where they had no control over what was going to happen. And while there's only so much of those stories you can empathize with, I think it's the word. I always get these backwards, empathy versus sympathy, because I know that one is that you actually can understand the feelings because you've been through something, and the other one is that you can understand what a feeling is like, just not the experience that led to the feelings. I never remember which one. There's not a lot that most of us today can say. Is there more to burgle? I'll send an urchin. I don't have an urchin. I gotta upgrade. Give me an urchin.
Hello.
So you go there.
Right away.
I can buy another one.
What?
We'll go ahead and send him here.
Alright then.
But one thing that we can connect with is the idea of facing trauma. There are different levels of trauma, but everyone reacts differently to it. But trauma is trauma. Trauma is something that is out of the ordinary that happens to you that often you have no control over. And you had no choice but to face. Oh, I already have the dagger. Nice. I thought I was going to have to get one this time. He's recruited another thug. Ah, see, so yeah, the 2 hearts means there's 2 thugs in that group. So now I can take, because they can have more. Eventually, you can get your hero, the anti-hero, to the main character. You can get that character to have more attacks. So yeah. So 2 damage means that they'll be able to take on something a little bit stronger, like a thug with 2 hearts. We've scouted the heaving boatswain. Well, since I have enough this time, go ahead and. So this time we need 3 victory points. So, I apologize if I lose my trains of thought. The subject matter is a bit... I'm walking on... There's a lot of eggshells I don't necessarily say that I'm walking on. I just want to make sure that I don't lose myself in talking about things. So... But back to the trauma. Trauma is something that is out of the ordinary that happens to us, and it can... Everybody reacts differently to that trauma. And disorders that can be caused by, so like PTSD, as a reaction to that trauma that's not normal. It's something that's out of the ordinary. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that for some reason, when you face this trauma, your body had a different reaction to it than, say, someone else who might have been either better prepared or just not as sensitive to it, or there's no rhyme or reason why. Some people can go through a traumatic event and not get PTSD. Some do. And some, it can take a while. It can take a lot of small things. So like in the NFL, when they talk about what's worse than a single large impact to the head is the small slight impacts to the head every play throughout an entire game, multiple weeks, season, years, that those can actually have a deleterious effect over time. And for some, that's what I mean, for me, that is what it took. It took slow, steady events building up over time before I finally hit the level where I couldn't take it anymore, and I had to get out. And then getting out was traumatic enough on its own. And then what happened to us after I got out, all of these events just piled on. Okay, corrupt city officials regularly issue assassination contracts. Kill the marked victim to earn a skull victory point. Contracts get tougher to kill over time. So they did that. And now this one is going to come over here. So by taking that one out, I got a skull victory point. And I think I want to do more damage, but stronger. So now I can get thugs. And with those, I can put them in the gang, and it makes the gang even stronger. So now it'll take 3 damage to take them out. Yes, I know, I'm not active enough for you. Oh, my watch is picky sometimes. Okay, so we now have her there. I don't think...
What's that?
He'll be able to do 1. Upgrade. You can spin your lanterns to bribe an official and get a victory point. Scouting gives the Master Thief an extra action point, or save up to buy the bribe to get a victory point. Okay. I want the extra action per turn. But I think you can only attack once per turn, so I have to... I want to buy a thug. So now I can buy a thug. I'll put him here. So now this one. Hey, Ion. How do I say your name? Ionias? But yes. Can we still attack her?
Hello.
No, it's not gonna let me. Let's go scout this. Just Ion. But is it pronounced like Aeon from Final Fantasy? Or is it Ion? Because the way I look at it, initially I thought it might be Greek. Ionisis. That's the linguist in me. Now, unfortunately, I made a mistake. Ion. Okay, so Ion. Oh, I made a mistake because I thought by putting them in there, it would add an extra attack to them. It is Greek. So then, the iOS on the end is not pronounced. Sorry if the linguist talk isn't as riveting. You couldn't use the symbol. Yeah. Limitations of the platform. The medium. But yes, Ion, I am. I'm not sure. I think I already shared this one. What? No, sorry. I'll share it one more time.
So no annoying sounds, right?
So,
Does this count as annoying?
so yes, I do think I lost that contract because she got away. So nothing. So I'm going to get a couple extra lanterns for the next turn. I'm gonna go ahead and recruit on another one of these to put in this gang, so it's gonna be hard for it to take out.
Yes.
On
my way.
Scout this. Scout this. A church. Yes, I know. If you blackmail a church, you get the whole. You get 3 urchins in the church, and you get a victory point. Got this. Just leave it like that. Think. If I had known the bot was going to post that one next, I wouldn't have shared it. Thank you, bot. Ooh, that's 2 of them. So, things are not looking good.
I am here.
Let's see. Uh-huh. Unfortunately, I can't get more attacks until I get 1 more. I think I'm gonna wait. I have to wait till the next turn to get that.
What's that?
Burgle. Get some coins.
Yes.
Get some more coins. I need coins. I need to buy urchins. Burgle it again. Give me more urchins. Nope, I'm only gonna be able to get, looks like 2 this turn.
Hello. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep, that's what I needed to be. You need churches and banks to get money per turn.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Unfortunately, a lot of things bring back the memories. I kind of just expect when I'm on here and I'm talking about these things that memories will be brought up, but that's part of why I'm talking about what I was talking about today, the finding meaning in trauma. And I lost. Now, I've already actually beaten this one. So I'm going to go on to the next one so you can see another part of it. But thanks for stopping in, Ion. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you in the future. Right now, I stream Mondays and Fridays at noon Central. But on Fridays, I stream to the Extra Life channel. So that would be this channel. Yeah, on Fridays, I'm actually a part of the Extra Life stream team, so I stream to that channel on Fridays. Wednesdays, I stream at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Or Central. So, hope to see you again, Ion. It was nice to see you. Okay, so yesterday when I was sitting, I did go to services, and the opening to the message was, if you had to pick 3 words. This is not 3 in sign language. This is W. Or yeah, this is, if you do it like this, that's 6. That's 6. If you do it like this, that's W. This is 3. So, if you had to pick 3 words, I have a new character, Emma, to put as a title over your life, what would those 3 words be? Let's go with the trait here. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to struggle with this because it wasn't that I couldn't think of words; it's that I couldn't limit it to just 3. It was a bit difficult to limit it to just 3. I'm not gonna lie. Send an urchin to infiltrate. Well, duh. Give me an urchin.
What? Alright then.
This will give me this will generate extra urchins. Or urchin cost. It'll reduce the cost. That's what it is. So it's
On it. I'll take that.
now the problem is, yes, I know I'm due for dental. The problem is in this one, they have a guy that can go around and take urchins out.
Of course.
So you kind of have to protect them. I think you were able to protect them in this one. I think. Where is it? Truant officer, he's the one that takes them out, but I don't think... Where's the explosives guy? I don't know. I don't see him yet. So 3 words, and if you're thinking about it, if you're following along in chat in the stream, What if you had to pick 3 words to put as a title? And now the thing is, he used 4, so you could go 4. Yep. See, there's the guy stealing my urchin, and you don't get it back. Curses. Now there is something that you can. There is something that you can put in there. Carries away urchins. He's a truly despicable creature. There is something. Because that's it. The saboteur. So you take a saboteur, and he. Well, why would I want to do that? I don't have any more urchins to stick in there. No, that's because it wants me to. Okay. In the last 2 turns. So you kind of have to pick where you're going to put it. So I didn't want to do it to that one because I already had an urchin in the other one, but whatever. This is the problem with playing the initial parts of the campaign is there's less freedom to what you're doing. Get some more coins. Okay. So there was a lot of words that popped into my mind. Author. You know, some of the simple ones. Author, father, husband. Haha! Artemis was dead. Thank you for that, host. Artemis was dead. I still am very proud of that thing right there, especially now that I got the volume down to a better level. The timing on that right there, that took so much practice. So much tweaking to get that exactly right.
What's that?
Well, let's go take him out. And now the resources they spent on that one are now useless. So, let's scout this area. Now we're going to upgrade. Your guild has a number of new upgrades available. Okay. I want to get a gang for sure.
Oh yeah.
How's it going, Artemis? It's been a bit since I've seen you around. Hopefully life is treating you well.
Let's go.
Yes. Although I don't think that was meh, not really. Well, I'm sorry that hasn't been treating you well. It's been interesting for me, interesting summer. I had to drastically change my schedule around because the family was around and I was getting a little overwhelmed. Man. Somebody must have sent an urchin in because that looked like a fight. Don't have enough. Let's go here and scout. Okay, so I'm going to scout this, or burgle this. Okay, so I got some coins. Now this guy is going to go here. Take out that gang. Well, I'm sorry life has gone down for you, Artemis. You're always welcome to talk about it. Yes, I want an additional action. I like getting a lot of actions for the Master Thief. Just sometimes there isn't anything you can say. It's just that's the way it is.
I'll take that. Oi.
One of these and put him in here.
All right then.
Okay. Oh, I can buy another one. Tough call, tough call. I think I'm going to buy another urchin and go ahead and infiltrate the church. There. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt. I actually had to make the decision over the summer to change my medicine because I wasn't feeling things the way I should be feeling them. and I had completely lost. I'd completely lost the creative.
Sure.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was while you were still here. Okay, so and that's I'm now a month and a half into that process, and it has definitely gotten better. Can't move there. Can we scout this?
Be mine.
Nope, I have to scout that. Done that, and that. You know, this time I think I'm just going to take this. So now I got 3 lanterns. Right, on Discord, that was you. Cool, I remember that now. Sorry, it's a lot's been going on, and honestly, I have a hard time keeping track of when things happened. Let's set that there. So if they send a truant officer, so today, Artemis, I was talking about, as the title said, finding meaning in drama, and what got this idea going was yesterday when I was at services. The guy opened up with this question: if you had to put 3, although he used 4 with his final example. So if you had to pick 4 words not as a title, but 4 words over your story that would give people an idea of what your story was, what would you choose? What 4 words would you choose? And I had a hard time. I frankly, because I was spending too much time thinking about it, I stopped paying attention to that part, figuring that out, because I wanted to make sure I was paying attention to the rest of what he was saying. Yes! Contract completed. Wahahaha. Sure, we'll do eviction. It is a very hard question. It actually reminded me of an exercise that my wife had me do when I was trying to decide if getting out of the military was what I actually wanted to do. And it was this brutal thing where she put out like 50, and actually I think we initially started with 100, these words that would describe the key words to describe my life. If I do 2 lanterns this turn, then I can get a bribe. Or I do this and get more lanterns. Anyway, so I'll get that next. And yeah, that's where my life was headed. My life was spiraling down into a big giant mess. Let's get an urchin.
Oi.
Stick him in the church for some more gold. That's what we do. We steal from everybody. But it doesn't take effect till the next turn. Now is why I'm glad I have that bomb there to protect them. Next turn I'm going to have to buy.
Indeed.
Oh. I should be able to take him out. So they infiltrated that. And this exercise is essentially the same exercise.
Sure.
It took me a long time to figure out, to narrow it down. Because every time I would narrow them down, she would then say, okay, now narrow it down to this, and now narrow it down to this, until basically I had my top 5 or 3 of them or something. I can't remember where we ended. And that was the question of, no, I want to, well, I already used the dagger this turn. Okay, that's fine. Let's burgle.
Be mine. I've got it.
That's everybody's story, Artemis. Everybody's story is like that. Some people do have the one big things that happen to them, but when you actually take a step back and look at your life as a whole, what you discover is that a lot of the things that a lot of the things end up just being a series of you have some slightly larger and some larger, but they're dominoes. And while it may take several smaller dominoes dominoes in a row falling, building up speed to knock that bigger one over. When the bigger one goes, it's going to knock over a bunch of little ones because it's going to put more momentum into it because it's bigger. Transfers more energy. So, yeah, that's actually how you tell a story. You tell a story by a little bit at a time. Now, sure, you may have the broad spectrum, but at some point you're going to get so you're going to get so overwhelmed by the larger picture that you have to take it down to the smaller parts to break it down so you can tell the whole story. And that's where something like this exercise, the picking some words that define, that you can put as not titles, but descriptions over your life. And not everybody is ready to do it. That is fine. When I say you, this is a general you, not a specific you. So when I say you, I'm just saying it to whoever's viewing. If you're not ready to do it, you're not ready to do it, and no one forces you to do this. Honestly, I would not have taken the time. I'm going to get some lanterns this turn so I can do a bribery next turn. If I probably wouldn't have done the whole... Oh, let's see. Oh, I wanted to buy him so he can go there and set a trap. If I hadn't had my wife pushing me, I wouldn't have done that drill. And yesterday, I kind of wanted to do it, but I didn't want to get so distracted by doing it that I wasn't listening to the rest of the story. And I'm not going to go into the story or any of that. I'm just going to focus on that specific exercise because he started with that, saying if you just real quick thought about 3 things that you would use to describe what's going on, what would they be? And then he moved on, and he got to the end, and he said, "Now, I'm going to give you 4 words that I think could cover anybody's story." Now, he gave them in a religious context, but it got me thinking about what... Take him out with that. I don't think there's a contract over there, but I can't take that one out. I have enough to buy 2 of these this turn, so let's go here. You take that. I do actually need to up. Okay, no, that's fine. And what my suggestion to you is, you take those words and write them down now. 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, the words will be different. They're not permanent. They're kind of based on where you are in your life. If I were to ask my 12-year-old to write these down, she would definitely come up with something that's very current and not long term. Now, already used that, so it's Burgle.
Is it? Oh, I thought it.
Scout
Be
that.
mine.
Okay. Now let's buy another one of these. And another one of these.
What? Cool.
Yeah, precisely. I was watching a comedian who was talking about it was on Dry Bar Comedy, so all clean stuff, and he was joking around. The particular bit for that one episode was baptism envy, and so he was doing the setup for the baptism, and he was talking about who you pick to go when the church plans their lineup of who goes in. Who do you start with and who do you end with? And you always start with the kids first, because really, what's the hardest thing they've ever faced in their life? I joined the church when I was 5, and the hardest thing I ever faced was when I couldn't play soccer because no one picked me. But then the next guy, he ended it with the next guy in line is the guy who's been on drugs for 40 years and got cleaned up. It does depend on the kid. It really does, because I would have been that kid. I would have been that kid at 11, but by 12, I was no longer that kid. I would have had a hard time. In the level at 10, 11, I probably would have said, yeah, bullying was probably the toughest thing I was facing. I had a safe home, although I could say I had a kind of an emotionally abusive environment, but I was not. It was not just them on that side of it. So, do I want to? I think I want to put him here. Let's go there.
Alright then.
That is, and see, that's another thing. See, that's a big thing that changes. So at 10 or 11, the things, or even for you, I'd say 9, 8, whenever, the things that you were facing were different. And so for my daughter, I'd say if she were to talk about the difficult times she's faced in her life, the hardest thing she's gone through would be that she's got familiar with would be the loss of her rats. But she knew when she got them, they would only live for 2 years. Okay, so bribery, and I think I win. Yep. Boom. Woohoo! We won. So the loss of her rats, the loss of the cat that had been in her life as long as she was alive. Yes. Well, she's also got a crash course in trauma because of what happened to me. So she's, and we don't necessarily expose her to the worst, but we don't shield her from it. If it comes into her life, we try to equip her to face them. So the unsatisfied Harris, who plays it being a thief for thrills. So this is Matilda. Avoids direct conflict, has a small army of thugs that she uses to block opponents. So she doesn't want to fight, she's just going to block you. Watch out for Matilda's thug. 5 churches. 5 churches, wow. And we're back to using Lightfinger as opposed to... Ah, crap, I already forgot her name. To be honest, I would like to hear from my parents how hard this world sucks instead of finding out myself. Yeah. And I'd say that my wife and I didn't experience that as much. We led, me more so, a more sheltered life than my wife did, but compared to what Zoe has been shown, yeah, I'd say she's had some exposure to very difficult things. So let's go ahead and burgle this. Okay. And he can go scout. Don't exactly. You don't want to say you want it to be realistic enough that they understand it, but don't just say things will get better, blah 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 blah, without any. You want to actually give them hope. So, long rabbit trail. The things that my daughter would put as words over her life would probably be something along the lines of,
I am here.
I don't know. I don't know what she would pick. It's hard to pick for other people. But they would be something, they would probably be things related to school, to her friends, to... Yeah, but we don't try to put words in her mouth. And we've made a point of not... We try to let her make as many decisions on her own as she can. So... And unfortunately for her, it means she's also welcome to the consequences of those choices. So I don't know. They would be different things. She would probably actually put compassion as one word because she likes taking care of people. Her orchestra teacher told us when I went to take her through to get her schedule for this year, that last year had been one of the hardest times in her life, and my daughter made a point of trying to make her smile every day that they saw each other. Because I don't think she sees that orchestra teacher every day of the week because there's 2 of them. But when she did, she made a point of doing something to make that teacher's life a little bit brighter. Not knowing, I don't think she knew, not knowing that the teacher was going through such a hard time. And as a parent, it warms your heart. But considering how we've raised her to look for people who are hurting, to look for people who are in need and take care of them, it's understandable that she would go that way. So let's go ahead and do... Ooh. Yeah, I'm tempted to do a bribery, but... So I got 2. And you can only do 1 upgrade per turn. Yeah, you say that kids can be painfully honest in things they say, but kids can also be extremely deceitful. You don't have to teach a kid to tell the truth. You don't have to teach a kid to lie. You have to teach a kid to tell the truth. Because they figure out very quickly that if they don't tell the truth, they're less likely to get in trouble. Initially. They haven't quite made that connection that later you have to remember all of those. So, but when it comes to being frank, when they're talking to people, they tend to just say outright what's on their mind. That much is that being frank and honest with them, what the things kids say, and we all laugh at those memes and stuff, but they're very true. And the whole subject of kids and being truthful, that's a subtopic for a different day. It's hard for...
Is that all? Yes.
Oh, nice. Let's burgle this. Latent ecstasy? Why would you call an orphanage latent ecstasy?
Oi.
Go there, so we got that fully infiltrated. Different, the Elden just says what they think. No, that's still true. That's true pretty much everywhere. They get to a point in life and they're just... I'm gonna say, I've earned the right to say what I want, whether or not you want to hear it or not. I want a gang. I want to be able to get a gang. And then I may still be able to buy... Nope, not this turn. So we'll just leave them there for right now. But yeah, once you reach a certain age, you kind of get this thing called I don't care-itis. I just don't care. I'm going to say what I want. And yeah. It's tough because but it's like you've come full circle. Kids are just going to say what's on their mind, and then they come back. They get to the old age, and they're just back to us like, I'm just going to say what's on my mind. I don't care anymore. I'm too old for this crap, as what's his face would say. Okay, so you go scout this, and then you take him out, so I can get you some experience. Increase your damage. You scout this and scout this. Cool. Now what do I want to upgrade? I've got 5. Ooh, I'm gonna take a bribery now. Why not? That's 1 victory point. And we're done with that. So yeah, I think compassion would be a word, to get back to the idea of the words that you would use to describe your life. I would say compassionate would be one she would use, because she likes to take care of people. She likes to take care of animals. She likes to take care of people who are hurting. Yeah, I would say that she has bouts with like feeling bad, but I don't think she would say that's a descriptor she would use. But honestly, most of them would probably be something that would be more current to the time she's at right now than, say, what she would say. I mean, me at her age, I probably would have had a lot darker things to say because of trauma that I faced as a child. Trauma that she, thankfully, has not faced. Yep, so there's that. And I would say that my niece, who I do extra life for, which is what that little bar up there is all about, my niece would probably also, well, she would probably not want to talk about it at this point because she's become more aware of the meaning behind all of it. Let's go ahead and get this. Yes. So I got the dagger now, and let's buy an urchin.
Oi.
And we'll put him in this church.
All right then.
Let's get some extra gold. Okay. So the words that he used at the end of his thing when he was talking about, okay, so we've gone through the lesson, we've talked about this story that we're talking about, where you can see these words in action. So that kind of example. And we can get her. This is a contract that we're going to get this time. I'm going to scout this, hit him, and then hit here. I want to attack, not scout. Contract. Victory points. Get those where you can take it. Get them. Okay, so 4 damage now. Let's burgle. Get some coins. I think this time I should get thugs.
Oi.
Because I want this. Not that I think I have to worry about too many. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this time. So you join. No. Join there.
Okay.
Okay. So the 4 words that he used at the end, because again, this was a religious setting, and when he said the 4 words in that setting, they made a lot of sense with the message he was trying to share. But I immediately started thinking of how could these words could be applicable outside of that context. These are all from the same Appel. Is this a streamer you follow? Well, obviously you have their emoji. You have their why can I not think of the word right now? Emoticons. You have their emotes. You have their emotes. He's a friend of yours. Nice. Oh, these are all your friends? Cool. Well, don't forget they're doing that. I don't know if you're aware of it, but they're doing another one of those chair to get emotes. I think it's food fight now. I think. Let me see which one. Yeah, here they are. I've got 6 of them so far. Someone's giving you subs you don't deserve. Hey, this is a valuable lesson you should learn now. How to say thank you when people give you stuff you don't think you deserve. If someone gives you a gift, just say thank you. I think one of the things that I wished I'd learned better growing up was how to accept compliments, how to accept. Oh, I shouldn't have done that with this one. I wanted to give them the extra XP. Let's scout. Let's burgle this. Scout there. I think that'll be it for them.
Yeah.
I'll leave them there for now. Let's get this so I can get a victory point from the church. Hey, Ivalon. Now there's a face I haven't seen in a while. Well, face, I say name. How are you? Bit of a tough subject today of, finding meaning in drama. But when the guy speaking got to this part where he was talking about the words, this is where I realized that there was application outside of where. Well, let's do this one. Yeah, get some extra attack. Now I get 2 attacks. So that there was some application outside of. So I'm going to give you the 4 words, but as they were in that context. Remember stating this was a religious setting, but yes, a very good way to put it, Ivalon. It's for everybody else to celebrate. This is why I don't understand why parents. Okay. No, this is why I don't understand why parents make such a big deal out of a baby's first birthday. This birthday and the second birthday are probably birthdays where honestly, you could go all the way up to 3. They aren't going to care what happens, and they are most likely not going to remember it at all. So why put yourself through all the stress of throwing a great, fantastic birthday party to do all the traditional things that people do at first birthdays when the kid isn't going to have any memory of this. Okay, so let's scout
Is
this.
that all?
Okay, so you attack him.
Sure.
And you attack him. Nice, now we're up to 4 victory points. You don't always have to feel like you have to take part in things. Maybe you do something later as opposed to going to the big event. You know, that is allowed. I can't scout that. That one's got 3, that one's got 3. I think I have 2 lanterns. I think I'm gonna get another urchin and stick it in this orphanage.
Let's go.
Reduce the cost of urchins. So let me finish this turn, and then I was going to share those. Let's get some more lanterns per turn. There. That's a good finish. So here are the 4 words that he gave. So Ivalon, you weren't here for this. We were coming. The exercise was if you had to pick. He said 3, but he ended up using 4 later, so you can do 4. If you were to pick 4 words that you would use, like to put as a header over your life, over your story, what were those 4 words? Not a phrase, just 4 words. So someone got a kill. Okay. Do I see another one on the screen? No contracts currently. So, unfinished. That's a good one.
Huh? What?
Oh, wow. We have lots of...
Yeah.
Go and take this out. Unfinished, interesting, struggle. Nice. Those are good ones. I like them. Oh, sorry, I was stretching. Let's scout this. And then let's burgle something. Burgle, burgle, burgle. Oh, there's more there to steal. Okay, so now... Do I want that yet? No, let's do this one. Additional moves. That's good. I like those. That's good. Because that focuses on the fact that your story's not done. Yeah. Well, and this was very, as I mentioned, this is very similar to an exercise that my wife had me do when I was trying to decide if getting out of the military was the right path for me, was the right choice. And I had to start with 100. And they were these cards set out, and I had to narrow them down, shimmy narrow them down until I think it was the top 5 or top 3. And it was hard and hard and hard. But when I got to the end and I looked at the things that were still on the list, it was very obvious to me that staying in was not that important to me. Let's burgle this again. So that helped me with that decision. Okay, so let's do another urchin.
Oi.
Put him here. Oh, no. Do
Right
this.
away.
Not as good. So here, I can do another one. Okay,
Hello.
let's put him in the orphanage.
I'm on it.
Reduce cost of urchins. Might as well. Lazy's a good one. Okay, but we were talking about this before you came in. A year from now, you might choose 4 different words. My daughter at 12 would pick something very different from what I would probably pick. So I think I'm gonna win this time. Yes, I'm gonna win this time. So you attack, and then you attack.
Let's go.
I didn't realize he was 6. I thought it was 5, but he did 4. Oh, it's 7. It's 7.
Is that all? Yes.
Okay, and let's scout this. Okay, so I don't need the truant officer yet. So we have 2 lanterns. Okay. Since apparently I'm not going to be able to make it, let's get another urchin and put him here.
Right away. Oi.
There, one that I can get to. No, I can't get to those. I haven't scouted that one, so yeah, I guess you're going into Strange Fellows Club. Okay. So here are the words. Of course, it always does that. Like those aren't like space free. And if I were to change them, because if you look at those words, that is a very religious context. And so I immediately started thinking about how you could change that. Oh no. Ugh. How did I Okay, well, that's that map. I've already played all of these, which is kind of why we're doing these. It doesn't matter if I lose them, I can go on. Out with the surveillance, tour the royal palace, bring back some lovely souvenirs. So I immediately started thinking about if I were to take these words and change them to a context that could apply to everyone, not just people who believe a certain way or people who believe at all versus people who don't have any kind of like belief system. And specifically connect it to facing trauma, facing a mental disorder, that, put it in that context. I was thinking about these words and how, we got Emma back, how to change them. And really, I wouldn't necessarily change them because with a little bit of discussion, you can connect them to it. So the concept of sovereignty is that something else is sovereign over everything. So think of a king, have that sovereign. That's their word is final, kind of stuff like that. Or a legal system. Once the legal system has made a decision, the word is final. But when we're talking about your day-to-day existence, if you're trying to find some grand meaning behind everything, because I started with the whole, it's not necessarily that things you face happened on purpose to make you better, but that when bad things happen to you, you choose to find something good in it. And that choice, the ability to choose how you face that, which I discussed, I heard more recently in the book Man's Search for Meaning, and written by a Holocaust survivor who was trying to determine why some people were able to continue on and other people just gave up. And he narrowed it down to that concept of choosing the one thing they could not take away from them. They could take everything, including their life, away from them, but the one thing they could not take away from them was their ability to choose how they were going to face something. Whatever that something was, whatever that context was, whatever that event was. And that, I think, remains no matter what's happened to you, no matter where you are in your recovery, if you've started your recovery, or if you're in the trauma, if you're before the trauma. Choosing how you will respond to something, and you can, and I mean in a way, like overall, not just in a traumatic event, but in all things. Choosing how you respond to something is always yours. It's always there. And by doing that, you're finding a higher meaning to what you're doing. That doesn't, you can choose to believe in some kind of a sovereign deity, or you can just choose that there's a greater force out there, or that there's just an intrinsic goodness that underlies everything. But all three of those concepts require you to face the truth that means that bad things can still happen, but in the end, there is a way for it to be turned good. And if you are someone who is either not at that point where you can think about that way, or you just don't believe that way, you still have the ability to choose how you face things. Just because you don't believe that there's something greater beyond us doesn't mean you can't think, I'm going to choose how I react to everybody that I see every day. And that's how I'm going to face it. The whole, if everybody you face is a jerk, if you face one person, they're a jerk. If everybody you face is a jerk, maybe you're the jerk, kind of a concept. I think we're all familiar with the idea of just everybody's a problem. And we like to think of ourselves as the ones who are not the problem, but sometimes we are. And keeping yourself mindful of how, your reactions to things could contribute to the problem helps you respond better. So if I were to, you could change sovereignty to something like meaning, purpose. You could change sovereignty to any of those things. Something that gives you something to look toward that's beyond you. And really, it's your choice what that is. If that choice is the greater good, well, you define that good. What is the greater good? Same concept. Now, sacrifice is a little different if you're talking about that one, because sacrifice, that's another stage in recovery. And the idea being that, and in some ways when you're talking about the stages of recovery, redemption and sacrifice could kind of be reversed or be concurrent. It's that choice that you're going to do something that's, say, hard for you to do. For Artemis, that could be choosing to go downstairs while the event is going on and say happy birthday to his mom. Or that could be doing something that is difficult, that you know is going to be stressful for you, that you will probably, when you're done with it, have to take some time to recover because your responses to things are different. And that's just the reality you live in now. I actually have to think about this every single time I leave the house. I have to mentally prepare myself for what I'm going to face out there.
What? All right then.
Driving, especially where I live, it is stressful. I tend to try to stay as far to the right and not drive as quickly as I can because there's so many other drivers out there that I can't account for, and they come from every direction. Honestly, I miss driving in Germany, where you knew people weren't going to pass you on the right. So if you needed to move into the second from the right lane because you knew the right lane was eventually going to leave, that's when I actually think about where I'm going before I even leave, because I need to think, okay, even though I'm using the GPS to get myself there, I know that if I don't make this decision far enough in advance, it's going to be stressful for me to make that decision when I get closer. So I try to think about, when does this lane end? Where does it go? When do I need to be in it before that? But then, so I make the decision, move out of the right lane, move into the second lane. All of a sudden, a car comes zooming past me on the right where I wasn't expecting it, and then moves in front of me because they didn't want to exit either. And that can startle me. I have to be very careful when I drive, because if I get triggered while I'm driving, especially at 60 miles an hour, it's bad. And it's not just me in the car. I have my service dog with me in the car. When I've gone through something stressful, my wife will straight up say, do you want me to drive? So because she knows that my reaction is different at that point. I think I still need to scout that, yeah. So, can you make it to him? Yes, you can. Yeah, you have to take the people out of the guard towers before you can get into the palace. So damage. Okay, so let's upgrade. This time I'm going to do the scout upgrade. Let's go ahead and... No, not them. Her. Scout this thing.
In my pocket.
I think this is one that... Yeah, this is the one that upgrades the thugs, and I don't necessarily need that. So let's put him here.
Let's go.
Now, it could be choosing to put yourself in a situation where you know you're gonna have to talk. For me, that was another difficult thing. But if doing that was going to help somebody else, then I had to balance that out. Is me taking this risk that I'm probably going to not be okay when I'm done? I'm going to need some time to recover. If me doing that is going to be beneficial to somebody else, then I choose that, then that's sacrificial. And in doing that, over time, you start to get, it's kind of like desensitizing. The best example I can give for me is for when I came back from my deployment last year, and I had my relapse. Scout. Okay, now you come here and take him out so you can get some XP. And I had my relapse. It was hard for me to talk in a place where I knew I was okay. Okay, so let's do dagger. So the hero can attack. Let's buy a... No, let's not buy, because I don't have any place I can stick it just yet. Because I don't want to stick it there. So let's wait. I'll save my coins for the next turn. So I'm in this environment where I know everybody knows me. It's not an extremely stressful environment. It's a classroom. But being there, I couldn't talk. And when I did, I couldn't project my voice. I still have problems projecting my voice when I'm out and about. It's just something I have to account for when I go places, is that I need to... Well, for one, I need to try to speak louder. But if I'm going somewhere where I know that that's not that I'm going to have a hard time doing that, then I have to take that into consideration. This time I'm going to get an urchin. But first, let's do I need an upgrade? Yes, let's get the lanterns. Buy that so we get more lanterns per turn. Let's get you. We'll stick you there so we get more lanterns per turn. So in this classroom, I kind of just existed. And the nice thing about this classroom, which eventually started to help me be able to interact with them again, was this classroom was extremely safe for me. Everybody knew that I was having a hard time. And when something needed to be asked of me and I couldn't answer and my wife would answer, they were fine with that. If I put something on the board that I wanted them to think about or talk about, or in some cases pray about, they wouldn't ask me, they would ask Michelle to explain. And over time it got to the point where I started feeling safe enough that I could start talking again, but I still have a hard time projecting. Going there, though, is still stressful and tiring on me. So it's tough for me, but being there with my family is good for my family. Being there with this group that I meet every Sunday is good. It's nice for them to see me there supporting them, even if I'm just sitting in the corner. So and this is a very small scale sacrifice I'm talking about here, something very little, but one of the things I learned I had to do is I needed to find ways to find those little victories and make them big, make them matter. We need to go down here, scout this. Scout this.
What's that?
I don't think we can do anything with that one. It's inactive. Who do I need to put in the tower? Do I need to put a thug in the tower? I think I do. I think I'm going to need to get a thug.
Okay.
Yes, you put a thug in the tower. That's what that means. Okay. Cool. I couldn't quite remember. So yeah, finding those small victories in things so that I could, frankly, just feel good about myself, that I wasn't just wallowing and hiding. And initially it was simply, did I make it through the day? Did I brush my teeth? Did I change clothes? Did I do a simple task? And I built it up. I built it up so that it was going along the lines of bigger and bigger things. Did I go and hang out? Did I intentionally go to a stressful environment, and did I do okay? That was another big one.
Yeah.
Go there, get some more XP for them. We'll get gold. So you come here. And then let's do this. Okay. So I'm gonna buy an urchin.
Oi.
Put the urchin. We'll put the urchin here.
Course.
Reduce the cost of urchins going forward. And I think now I'm gonna go ahead and do a bribery to get a victory point, because I'm a little behind on that. I don't think I can enter. Yeah, I have to occupy all of them. Currently, I only occupy one. And next turn, I need to go after this assassin. So, over time, that became those challenges that I was facing became less difficult and more familiar, and so then I had to start pushing myself even farther to continue the growth, to not stall out. So for me, that was the sacrifice of could I put myself somewhere where it was going to be difficult for me, but it was going to be beneficial to others. In March, I had to face the reality of the VA wasn't going to help me, even though they said that they should be helping me more, because they couldn't help me in another way. I faced the reality of they aren't going to help me, not more so. So then I had to go out and find a job that I could do from home so I could support my family, and we needed it. So it was choosing to do something that I knew was going to be very, very challenging. And
Let's go.
Doing it because it was going to benefit my family. That was definitely part of the challenge, and that was that sacrifice that was being made. Was, could I do that even though it was going to be hard for me? So that was the next step. Let's go ahead. We'll just no, not that one. Yeah, we'll scout. Okay, cool. Let's buy another urchin.
Oi.
Take him here.
Alright then.
Okay, and then we'll do an upgrade. Yes, we'll do this one. If I get up to 10, I need to do that bribe one to get one more victory point. And here's the interesting thing about helping other people, doing good for other people, particularly in a way that's sacrificial. There is a feeling that you have that comes with that. That is, it is redemptive in and of itself, because you felt good because you did something for somebody else. You weren't just thinking about yourself there. And you, in the position I'm in, I can't afford to not think about that. I need to be aware of it, at least in part. Go here. Go out here. Attack that. Okay. So I don't have any coins this turn. Let's go take him out. That'll get me some more coins. And we'll do one more gold per turn. Let's do this and stick him in the guardhouse.
Horse.
Okay, so next turn I'll be able to do that bribe. And I'm going to use my upgrade this time to get it. So going back to the words. So the initial words we started with were... Oh, I messed it up. The initial words we started with were... And these are words that the guy was saying that you could put over your life as a descriptor, and not a phrase, 4 words. So we started with this. And sovereignty, we said, read that as meaning or purpose, something that's larger than yourself. It could be religious, it could not be. It's just something that is bigger than yourself. And then sacrifice, I don't think we need to change that word. It's something that you do that is going to cost you that helps somebody else in some way, shape, or form. And then that act of doing that is redemptive in and of itself. And the idea of redemption is, particularly for someone who's faced trauma, I need some coins. So you go here.
Let's go.
You... Okay, so that's good. Okay, good. Now I've got enough to buy 2 of these. But I'll need to get a little bit more. So you go there and guard.
Okay.
So you burgle. Burgle, give me some more coins.
Beautiful.
Burgle again.
Oh, all right.
So you go here.
Okay.
Now I can go here and burgle.
Ah.
Royal riches removed. Ooh, cool. Got it all. Got it in one. Nice. So now we'll do bribe. And now I'm 1 victory point away from winning. Triple play. I got an achievement. Thank you, Steam. So, one of the... And this is kind of the book that I was reading, The Man's Search for Meaning, was talking about logotherapy and how it helps you. And there's also narrative therapy, the idea that you can tell your story and it be a story and not be something that you're still in. Getting to the point where you can do that. Okay, so you're a church.
I am here.
Oh, never mind.
Huh?
Take him out.
Let's go.
Oh. Hello.
You take him out. And that should win it for us. A feeling that I feel a lot as that the PTSD is one side of the difficulty that I face. The other side is the moral injury side, the part of me that doesn't want to forgive me for what the part that I took part in. We did that. I'm still not there yet because I'm still dealing with and some parts of that story I can't face yet. The idea behind the therapy that I'm going through is to help me separate myself from the traumatic feelings that I get, the PTSD side of it. Can't I think of it right now? Accelerated resolution therapy is to help me separate from the PTSD reaction, the instantaneous reaction to protect myself, that stuff. The idea then is that I will then be able to face the other side of the story that I'm not ready to, I'm not prepared to face it. I don't want to think about it. I try to avoid thinking about it, but the ART is moving me closer, where I'm willing to at least speak about parts of it. Eventually, I want to be able to tell that whole story and do it in a way that helps others. So there's that sacrifice. And by taking my story and turning it into something that can help others, that's the redemption side of it. That's finding the good and the bad that happened to you, or taking the bad that happened to you and turning it to good, to go all the way back to what I started at the beginning with. And that concept, that idea of that process of the finding of having a higher meaning or a higher purpose, of being willing to do something for others even if it costs you, and eventually moving to the point where what you're doing can help others recover, and in that process you kind of find your own redemption in that. That all leads to the last word, hope. So it's all kind of connected. Now, there's a lot in this episode
Oh yeah.
to unpack.
Oh yeah. I'm here.
Okay, originally a butcher, there were grisly rumors about his guild's rituals. Extremely aggressive, frequently reckless, loves gangs, attacks enemies at first opportunity. So, each of the 3 corners is ruled by a powerful gang. The gangs have allied with Gashford. Kill the 3 gangs before Gashford claims the neighborhood for himself. To win, kill all 3 gangs and fill the rest of your victory banner. I need 2 victory points, and I gotta take out 3 gangs. Boy. So, yeah, that was a doozy of a topic. Finding meaning in trauma. Finding the words that you would use to describe your life now. And then refocusing them into the words that initially is what started me on this. And I'll post them one more time. The idea that there's something bigger than you. And that choosing to do something for someone else that may cost you, turning what you faced into something that can help others, or at least help you. That's the redemption side of it. And then with the whole point being, the end result is that you being able to see that can give you hope, but more so that you can then give hope to others. So that's if I was gonna put a wrapping on the discussion today, that's where I would go first. And so as a challenge, I would say, can you find 4 words that you would use to describe your life now, presently? And using action words are good because they're an ongoing process. Action words are good, but they don't have to be action words. If you can think of nouns, do that too. And then look at those 4 words, and then look at these 4 words: sovereignty, sacrifice, redemption, and hope, and think about that process, the process of healing, and then finding meaning in what happened to you, and then taking that and turning it into something that can help others.
All right then.
To give hope to others, and in the process give yourself hope for those days when you just don't feel like getting out of bed. And if finding the right words is difficult, because that is hard. I'm a writer, and I'll admit that finding the words to describe that are very difficult. There are exercises, drills that you can do that will start you with the words, and you have to start narrowing them down. I need to ask my wife about that, where she got that from, so I can share it. So let's count this. Oh, a church.
Got it.
Money to steal. Let's scout this. No joy.
What?
You go
Right
there.
away.
And what are we gonna do for an upgrade? I think I need to get gangs. I need to get gangs going, and immediately start getting. The next one will be the thugs. There's nothing you can presently do. Oh yeah, you can. You can do this. I need to. Using them to take them down means I can build up their damage. Okay. There we go. So we're about 25 minutes from the end of today's stream. If you've joined us late and want to know and would like to recap what we talked about, just let me know. If you have questions about it, you can ask it here. You can always also ask off stream. You can join my Discord, which I think the bot shared recently. It's been a bit, I think. So I'll do it. No, wrong screen. Yeah, that's the right one. I had to adjust the link because the other one stopped working for some reason. Let's scout this
Is
out.
that all?
Trading house, and then let's scout this.
On my way.
Can I get a thug? Oh, this is a tough choice. Tough choice. Do I get the thug to increase the... I need it. I need to do that. I'll have to do the thing for my
Okay.
hero, so that my hero can attack later. I am gonna get another crew. I want to get this church infiltrated as quickly as I possibly can. Might as well. Do some damage on him. No, it shared about that. So I know today has been mostly about talking about PTSD and stuff. I do want to make sure that share this for those of you who don't necessarily feel that one's not on. What the heck? Bot. What's wrong with you, bot? If you look below my stream, there's a thing that says safe space. It's the same thing that has appeared up above my head in the rotating thing. Now I need this. No, I don't have enough. I need to take her out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do this
Let's
first.
go.
And this one I'll have...
On my way.
Read that up. Scout this.
Ah, for me.
Get some coins. Okay, let's get this.
What?
Infiltrate the
I'm on it.
church. I'm frustrated that save one doesn't work. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Okay, now, no, still don't have enough. Let's do this one. Give him an extra thing per turn. Scout this out. Okay, now we're done. But besides that, also, this one of the things that I continue to do. Doing this stream is difficult for me sometimes because there are a lot of days. I knew that was going to happen. If I didn't get more into it, gotta do another one. Until it actually starts, most days I don't feel like doing this. I feel like skipping it. Now, Friday is a bit of an exception because it's the extra live stream, and I genuinely enjoy doing that. But the other streams, I do have a hard time. It can be a bit of a challenge for me to continue doing these because I just don't want to sometimes. But I know that it's good for me to do them, so I choose to do them. Let's have you go here, Jenny. Hey, how's it going? Welcome on in. I've mostly wrapped the conversation for today, but I can sum it up. I can sum it up if you would like to hear what I was talking about. How are you doing? Okay, so I still only have one. Do 2 lanterns. Need to put more urchins in that one. Okay, so as you see in the title, we're talking about finding meaning in trauma. So it's a similar. You've probably heard the phrase of when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Which honestly, I don't like that phrase because it focuses on. It really, honestly, is just something people say so that they can feel better about themselves. That they said something. I gain the ability to attack. It sounds too easy. Yeah, it does sound too easy. But it's just one of those things that people, they just feel like they have to say something, so they say something. And it's...
Let's go.
As I try to tell my daughter all the time, it's just because you can say something doesn't mean you should say something. Okay, so let's buy this and put him in here.
Okay.
Now you go pilfer some things because I need money. Burgle, 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 burgle. Hey, there's the thing. Why didn't it come out on the command? That's frustrating. Burgle, burgle, burgle.
Got it.
Okay, so let's get another one of these. So this way he'll at least survive if that gang comes and attacks him. So yeah, finding meaning in trauma. It's that whole something bad has happened to me. And it's not the whole something bad happened so that something good can happen later. But more of the you're choosing to find something to turn it to good. So something bad has happened to you. The only thing you can control in it is your reaction to it. Now, for those who are experiencing some form of disorder from it, or say like PTSD or moral injury or anything like that, that can be difficult. It doesn't just happen right away, kind of thing. Actually, you take that out, and then you come finish her off so we can get that. Okay, so I've got all those things. Now I just need to take out.
Yeah.
Gangs.
Yeah.
I think I need to make it larger. Recruit a second gang. How do I make the gang larger, though? Oh, that's what I'm going to need to do. Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Well, I guess I'm getting that one. It also depends on where you shared it, and I may not necessarily remember everything that you shared. So, let's go... Oh, I already used the dagger, that's right. Let's pilfer... No, let's burgle this. And when it comes to my story, that's where I am. I'm not where I can share all of my story yet, because I don't... Honestly, there are some parts that I'm not ready to face. So let's recruit you and put you in here because I need... So let's have you just guard for 2 turns. Yeah, I have trauma that I didn't experience PTSD from also from before. So what got me thinking about this topic was yesterday when I was in services, the person speaking opened up with this question. If you were to take, and he said 3, but he eventually used 4, so you could do 3 or 4. If you were to take 4 words, not a phrase, but 4 individual words that you could put over your story that would give people an idea of your story, what would those words be? And earlier, Ivalon shared, let's see if I can find his words. Unfinished, interesting, struggle, and lazy. And I mentioned that a year from now, those words might be different. What my daughter says now may not be what she says 10 years from now. What I would have said when I was 10 years old is not what I would have said when I was 15 or 25 or 42. Which I'm not there yet. That happens next year. So that is what started it. And then he wrapped it with these 4 words. He said, you've got your 4 words, but I think all stories can have these 4 words written over them also. And when you look at them, sovereignty, sacrifice, redemption, hope, they're very religious in context, but I started thinking about them in the terms of recovery. And while you're a person of faith, that will probably play a big role in let's put you. Let's have you take this out. Sorry.
Sure.
That can play a big role in your recovery. It does. You don't have to have faith in order to recover. And it's just absurd to think that, because not everybody shares the same kinds of faith and stuff. So I was trying to think of ways that we could tell how I could explain these 4 words in a way that could apply to everybody.
Yes.
Have you go here. Leave that.
On my
Burgle this bank. Okay. And then burgle
Is that
this.
all?
Yeah. You don't have to have it, and that's why I wanted to specifically talk about them in a context that showed that you don't have to have those. I'm gonna go ahead and get them. I need extra lanterns. Don't have enough gold this turn, so when you think of the word sovereignty, you can think of something that's think of the word purpose or meaning, something bigger than you, whatever that may be. Just being a good person, taking care of people that are less fortunate of you, whatever. Something, the thing that motivates you to do that. And I really wish these gangs would make an appearance again so I could start taking them on. Okay, so my defense of that. Yes, but you're also in an environment where you could continue, you could face more trauma over time. As I said earlier, the comparison was in football. The big collision with the head is one bad thing. It is a bad thing. But what's an even greater risk is the constant small hits every play, every game, every week, every season that build up over time and could create the exact same effect. For me, that was what happened. I had the experiences I had early in life, most definitely were the instantaneous trauma. But the experiences I had later were the build-up, the slow drip, drip, drip until I finally reached my breaking point. So so both of them. Let's get an urchin, put him here to give me more lanterns. Because I need more lanterns. 2 per turn, that's good. Yes, it does. It can take 1 to break the ice, or it could just take a lot of picks over time to eventually break it. Water doesn't wear down a mountain all at once. It wears it down. But it wears it down over time. So, getting back to those 4 words, purpose or meaning, and then going from that into something that you do for others that costs you in some way. So the example I shared was going to a place that was going to stress me, going to wear me out, make me tired, but it was beneficial for my family for me to go. It was beneficial for other people to see me there. Whatever. It's something that it's something that costs you, but it doesn't cost, but it helps others. So we have 2 this turn. I'm going to go ahead and get the lanterns, so I have extra ones next turn. I'll finish that. Doing this stream is a bit of a sacrifice for me, because I'm not going to lie to you. Most days I don't feel like streaming until I actually start. Sometimes I don't. I still don't. Wow, he's moving a lot. Okay, so you finish your turn. Man, he has got a lot of moves per turn. Yeah, and there was a point where that doing just that, just getting up out of bed was a struggle. Remembering to do the little things. Now, the reason I took that person out was because it was 1 less contract for the other player to get. I can buy another thug and put that thug
Okay.
in the gang, so that's good. I guess I'm gonna have to use one of my moves on this. Go here. So, he's getting extra money from that. And let's scout this. And go here. Okay. So, yeah, most days I don't feel like doing this. Even today, there were other things I would prefer to do. Now, one of it was be creative. So that eventually, the fact that that I know people come and watch, and the fact that this is this subject today, I really wanted to talk about this, but I also wanted to clean the house for my family, so it would be less stressful for them to come home. So I had to choose to come here and do that. Yeah, even those just listening, or those that catch them later. Ah, you just kicked my urchin out. So that's a simple idea of sacrifice. Choosing earlier this year, I had to make a big one. I had to decide that when the VA just said, even though one side of the VA was saying that they needed to help me more because this one side couldn't help me the way I was asking for help, I went to the other side and they said that I'm too functional. So one side said I'm not functional enough for them to help me, and I went to the other side and they said I'm too functional for them to help me. So knowing that I was facing that, I made the decision to find a way to work in some way, shape, or form, so that I could continue to support my family. It was a good thing I did because we needed it over the summer. Yeah, there's a lot of people face a lot of difficulty with the
Is that all?
the stigma that surrounds us, because a lot of people just don't want to know. They really don't. Okay, so let's go ahead and take him down one. And then I've got one more. Let's take him down one. One blocked by what? We'll scout this. Okay. Let's get the sisters.
At your service.
So now this will be good, because I need them to take them out. Man. I want to take them out, but I don't think I can get to it this turn. But I don't know if I have to use them. One-time use, yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to wait on that one. I do want to buy one of these to put in there.
Alright then.
And then another one
What?
to put in here to generate more lanterns per turn. Because that's what I need. I'm desperate at this point. Okay, so she'll stay there, and she'll come out later. So that's the second word, sacrifice. And I'm going to keep reposting these just so they stay visible. So the sovereignty, the something larger than you, greater than you, that you, whatever it is, you find that meaning in it. And then doing something that costs you, but helps others. And then in doing that, because you take what you're doing to help others, I made the comparison to my therapy earlier. My therapy is helping me deal with the PTSD side so that I can face the moral injury side and eventually turn my story into something that I can not only talk about, but I can use it to help others. That's the big one for me. Okay, so you go scout this. And you take them out. Doing it here was the first step because I knew that this was something that I could start with. Even though this is definitely a challenge. Okay, so I can't afford to buy another one of those, but I can definitely at least take this one down a peg.
Sure.
Okay. And then this one, I take this out so I can get another promotion. Get some moolah. And now I can start evicting. Okay, so upgrade 6. Yeah, let's increase his attack. Okay, so end of the turn. So you take what you're doing and you use it to help others in their recovery, or help others understand what people are in your boat are experiencing. That's that whole destigmatizing it, spreading awareness. He's got 2 more points. Yes, well, Friday, the note about Friday. I need to actually make a command for this. Fridays I stream to that channel. I'm a part of the Extra Life stream team, the whole giving back kind of thing. Okay, so dead roaches need to be dead this turn. Ugh. Since when do urchins get to? This guy has so many moves per turn. And there went my gang. Crap. So stinking aggressive. Yeah, if you do, remember, you don't. It's not just. It's not just there. I have the tracker going up there. I don't have to. This one I have as a command. You can always donate there. I'm 88% to my first goal. So let's buy a gang.
I'm here.
Let's buy one gang. So you attack.
Of course.
Yes.
You attack. You can still the gang to evict. Oh, they don't have any more moves.
What's that?
I want to. I'm just trapped down here. There's nothing I can do. Everything is just blocking me. I don't know who these purple guys are, but they are just pain. Oh, that's good. I came close. I had a near point where I was overwhelmed by emotions. That's not going to help me. Although it could prevent him. Got the sisters. Let's do this one. 3 damage. Wish I'd done that first. So there's nothing I can do. Okay, so I have to move on. So, getting back to the words. So, sovereignty, meaning, purpose, sacrifice, doing something for others that costs you.
Done.
In the process, you help others become better or start their healing. And as a result, you also are pushing yourself down that road. Because recovery is not you get to an end point. It's something you're going to face probably the rest of your life. But the idea that you can do that then leads to the last one, hope. It gives you hope and it gives others hope. So there you go. That was pretty much it. Hey, being scared of wasps is no joke.
What?
Okay, I need to take care of some of this crap. Because I need to be able to burgle. Because I need coins.
Yes.
Yeah, there isn't a cure. It's management. That's what it comes down to. It's just straight up management. Let's go ahead and do that. Burgle, burgle, burgle. Give me lots of coins. At this point, I'm afraid to actually put another gang in the field until I've got enough to completely keep it safe. Yeah, you manage the symptoms. See, it's drawing that comparison closer to it actually being an illness. I mean, my dog on his vest, his service vest, it actually has a patch on there that says not all wounds are visible. Because everyone, they see the service dog and they look at me and they don't see anything wrong. And it's just, you can see it in their eyes. Like, what's the purpose?
Got it.
And yesterday when I was out and about, there was a guy who was holding his daughter who was essentially following me around, trying to get to a point where they could ask me to pet my dog. And like, no. I had someone else come up and start talking to me straight up, and I just had to say, no, leave the dog out of this. You cannot interact with the dog. And it's in a church, so I don't want to just be rude.
Did you say more?
And bring out the whole, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to call the police card. But that's what it comes down to.
Is that all?
Okay, so let's attack this gang.
On it.
Burgle.
Yes.
Burgle again.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the things that we have to deal with being out.
Hello.
Must be something I can upgrade to be able to send the... It's got to be something that I can upgrade to. Get some more. And I don't see it on here. Great. Oh, he'll go back in the house. But yeah, going out in public, especially with the dog, it's one of those... Do the pros outweigh the cons? The con of having to explain to everybody what the dog is there for versus them just ignoring me entirely, but then encroaching upon my space. Yep, I figured that was going to happen. Encroaching on my space. Okay, well, as far as the game is concerned, that's where I'm going to call it. Switch back. Okay. Seriously? Why is this doing this? I don't understand this. Something is wrong with... And I keep saying it's a problem with Stream Puppy. Or not Stream Puppy, with OBS, but I think it's actually a problem with Stream Puppy. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you could still hear me. Having him out, it does help. The biggest issue I've had lately is that our move caused him to regress a little in his training, so I've been having to rework that, plus having the kid around all summer, and she just could not leave the dog alone. So now they're gone, so I have more time with him to just focus on me. But I mean, see, that's the problem. He's supposed to be focusing on me. And at home, it's always this catch-22 of he needs some time to just relax and be a dog. But what if suddenly I need him? I need to be able to cue him in. You need to come to me. But when they're home, it takes a lot for me to get his attention, and it shouldn't take that much. So that's one of the things I'm having to retrain him in. So, okay. So I'm going to head on out here. I'm going to do a host. I think. Yeah, it looks like the Extra Life channel is on. So I'm going to, one more time, Life for Kids. I'm going to cast a host for them. That's where I'll head over after this channel, hang out for a bit, and then get to work and stuff. Thank you everybody for coming in and taking part in the conversation. It was a long one. Hopefully it helped, and I will be exporting it to YouTube as soon as I'm done, so it will be there on my PTSD playlist for you guys to catch. Next week, Chels Mike should be back with me. So we'll have a conversation. So thank you. thank you for everybody that supported this stream, the various ways you have, and making this possible, and for supporting Extra Life, because finding meaning, something larger than you and what you do. That's what that thing is up there. That's what that's about. And I'm working on a video. I interviewed my sister so I could tell her story. So this Friday, I'm hoping to be able to share more of it in detail during the Extra Life stream. So I will be back Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock Central for some Levelhead, playing some more user-created levels, and that will be most likely what I'm playing on Friday too. So, thanks Jen being here. All my lurkers, thanks Ivalon and Artemis and Ion for being here earlier and chatting, and I will catch you guys all next time. Bye!
Life. You sign here.